Hey, yes indeed, you're right. Most disheveled, out there, whack looking prom date you've ever had. Hearts. Here's my prom queen staff. Shoulder, shoulder, wrist, wrist. Kiss, kiss. Okay, so we're starting up here for a reason. We're going to a more exciting area. I'm a total mess tonight. Usually I say my rule is, oh, this is me as an alien. I look really good with it right now. Midas made this for me. Me as an alien. Fits me now. But I had to do a little show and tell. We're going to protect identities here. Showing you this one. So cute. Oh my gosh. What the heck, cutie? I can't find anything lately. Nothing. Can't find anything I want to find. There's a story behind that one. Hopefully we're seeing it. Is that even? Oh, let's get even closer. Right. And then these ones, I don't care if they. I mean, you have to take in the awkwardness of that one. Oh, are we in it? Are we in it? We're kind of in it. You get the idea. There's themes. We got a theme going on. Very dangerous and risky stuff going down the stairs in a ball gown. Super thirsty. Could not get my shit together. This is the product of many hours, believe it or not, this total mess you see before you. Yeah, it's not easy to create new content on a day. Yes, that is me putting something on under this because I didn't even have anything on under it, and it's itching me so badly. It's a necessity. I can't start over. There. You saw the real thing. Got to get a little protection going on here, people. This is crazy. Most a wreck prom date from heck, but it's cool. I put some actual real effort into this, people. It even says prom behind me. That's from the restaurant I worked at. Would always do like theme things, and it was always up to me to provide 20 costumes for people. Think normal expectations. That was always me. Like when I was protesting something or being too me, they would say it was so dramatic. But then when they needed all of my accoutrements and accessories, then the drama was a benefit to them. See how we judge until we need something from someone? That's kind of how it works. I felt like I needed to have music because it's the prom. We're at prom. We're going to prom. Also, I am a mess. This is funny. I found this one. I was actually quite happy about it because this comes from the garage sale of the year. Probably my favorite part of the year every year. My dogs, they lay it down with this garage sale. I've gotten so many phenomenal things. Okay, we're starting this over. There's like weird things in my teeth. I don't even know what's going on right now. I'm a total mess. Just pay no mind to the woman behind the prom dress. This is good prom music. Dude person wrote this for me. It's the only song that's ever been written for me. No lyrics. But it seemed promy. I just needed some background. So I hoped it wouldn't get me in trouble because it never got published or made or put out for anyone but me. It's really pretty lovely. But I was losing it because I couldn't find the prom dress from one of these stories. This is not, in fact, an actual prom dress that I wore, but I did bring the real ones for show and tell. I just love this. We might even play it twice. It's the slow dance song. Oh! That's what happens with old CDs. Old and in the way. I broke 2 nails while I was down here frantically looking for this dress. Sorry, don't mean to be vulgar, but I can't stand having a piece of broken nail happening. Ugh, couldn't have that. But this saucy little Cinderella number was from the spray tan prom. You'll get a load of that story. Hey, still holds up. I think this cost me $25 or something. It was so cheap at Foley's or what have you. I felt good in this little number. dress in question that I'm, much like those childhood scripts, I am devastated beyond belief that I have made absolute garbage soup of my basement. Still didn't come up with it, much like this dress. And it sounds silly because I got it from a dumpster in Hollywood, but so what? That's part of the, oh my god, what's the thing from Antiques Roadshow? Yeah, it's provenance. That's part of its provenance, you see, that it came from a dumpster. Not this. This has to have its own poem one day. This has been certified. I think I've shown you my, I've shown you my little fart noise at the end. I like that in my song. We're gonna play it again. It's such a pretty song. But, my certificate of gem sweaterology authenticity from Leslie in the Lies, L-Y's, however you want to tomato it. Leslie, hugely famous to me, hugely vital part of my understanding of myself and rap and gems, and, you know, babies wearing bling, aliens wearing bling, everybody bling and sing. She's actually, where did you go? I ended up in her, so one of my friend's boyfriends was friends with Leslie's brother, and she was there one night, and then she dipped before I knew it was her. Anyway, it was after a concert. Her shoes were in the living room, and I was like fangirling, and people just never let you fangirl enough. Just like dance photos. I don't know if I should like blur these people's faces. I'm like, oh, it's my life. I should show ya. This one is a bigger photo. I couldn't find the big photos. But it's like, I feel like people either want to be seen all the time, look at me, tag me, or they're like totally private. So you never know. People are weird. The past is weird. But that was just like a formal. I love the backdrop. That wasn't even a prom. It was a formal. But all of these, I don't get like, you know, notch in my belt status about a lot of things, but being invited to a dance and like asked to go there, that is a really big, that's a notchy kind of feeling for me. Like that makes me feel confident and good that I've been invited to dance. I mean, it was so, there's various disappointment when all of those are involved. Anyway, I could not get my shikaka together to save it, you know, tonight. Was just digging wigs, flinging, so mad, trying to find this dress. And yes, it came from a dumpster, along with some crazy looking, very, very spiky, Pretty Woman type heels, if you feel me. Still have them. But I'm quite upset that I couldn't find it. These go with one of the said prom dresses and tresses. I'm pretty much in love with you. I think that maybe enough people haven't been in love with me. I've always been disappointed in my number of people who've told me, like, I'm in love with you. I think it should be higher. But I think this one was. It was like the fart at the end, kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't meant to be. But I do care a lot about them. I think this has some original Friends music. I don't know. We'll see. Or we'll get in trouble and it'll just be another, like, me doing a video because I want to and not because someone's telling me to. Fancy bag. One must always have a clutch. One must always have a clutch. Oh, we're gonna let this one play out either way. I need to be in a world of pure imagination right now. I really do. Looks really cool like this. Ooh, I'm gonna sneak peek a thing. Sneak peek. I have been finding some things I didn't intend to find or was excited to find in my desperate hunting, searching, questing to find things I can't find. So that's cool. But this is like or it was a blow up silver body that displayed clothes, and then it like with that one. Teasers. But yeah, of course it disintegrated, as things do, but we saved the bodice. And I'm gonna do something weird with it, you know. I'll find some weird way to use it. But I thought that was interesting when I just pulled this out, because they're like friends. They're Metropolis friends. But this one, I'll have to find occasion to wear it in another video. All you gotta do is try. Good stuff. But this is probably my most sacred dress. I wore it in one of the best plays I've ever been in, called H2O. I think there's friends on here. I don't know, guys. But it's sacred to me, extremely sacred. This is my first prom, and I just don't know. I wanted to play you my friend's music. I thought that this was what this. I thought that this was what this was. Oh, whatever. We're doing background music. Oh no, that's definitely, you know, shit. Oh man, you guys, this is the thing with time. Time destroys all things, and it just makes me really mad. I just want it to stay what it is. Okay, fuck. This was also a romance sort of situation. And West 8 was the band. So they're my friends, but I'm sure they wouldn't care. So I was just trying to give you some background. But yeah, this one I wore to my first prom with my first love. And then I was in a play in it, and I ripped off almost all these bottom beads. Like so many of these bottom beads. And I hand sewed them. I found replacement doodles and some of the original doodles. And like pretty much this whole entire section, you would be amazed. It probably took me 28 to 30 hours. Hand sewing each one. But this, the music video I told you about, that I was in all 3 music videos and the star of 2 of them, and really juicy shit. And we won out of all these really fancy, expensive music videos. And I wore this in Hollywood to accept the award and give the speech and cry. And I've always wanted to do that. It was special. So this dress means a whole lot to me. It actually shouldn't even be in there with the shoes. That's sacrilege. Glad I caught that. This guy hit me up recently. People only hit you up when you got somebody, right? Am I right? I mean, we'd be friends, no matter what. No matter what, I think we'd just be friends. But there's love. There's all different types of love. But I just think it's funny how people only reach out. Not when you're like lonely, crawling in the dirt, like, does anybody want to talk to me? When you got something going on, they're like, hey, what you doing? How you doing? People are funny. Psychology's funny. All the things we do are funny. Prom is funny. I'm enjoying this though. It's been years since I busted it out. They were pretty good. Actually, really good. I'm gonna say they were really, really fucking good. Isn't that funny? I think that's like a 21st century thing that we're trained to be like, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. No, it's pretty good. When what we mean is like, that's badass. But we are, I don't know, what's the analogy for that? It's like the times I've been lucky enough to see Cirque du Soleil, and I get like raging mad because it takes so much to get people to really exalted cheer with their exalted, impressed selves. They're like, oh, yeah, I could do that. These people are like turning themselves inside out, like making their breastbones connect to their ankle bones, like making things float from their head. Like, yeah, one of those things would take any human so long to do. Sorry, I brought the stool down here because I wanted to show you these insane shoes that pop up in the story. And I'm obviously telling you 15 things at the same time, but when I couldn't find anything tonight, can't find a balance with the volume, but I am digging this. It's just background prom music. You can't not have music at prom. It's insane. Come on. These are in the story though, so I just thought this came from the garage sale. Very Cinderella-y. So I had to kind of, and that's kind of what I was going for in the like slutty mall chick one that I got. Sorry, that's what it is. I can say that about myself. I wasn't. I was kind of a prude until I was like 21, really, by modern standards. But I just had such a hard time pulling it together tonight. So there's a new rule. I always say, like, if I get the video put in right before midnight, if I'm like uploading it before midnight, I'm still doing good. This one, I gave myself the one-time freedom of like, okay, as long as I'm doing it, as long as I'm filming it before midnight, we're good. Because I'm giving myself, you'd think I had a full-time job or something. I just can't seem to like pull it out and achieve it and find the thing that's, I can come across anything else. I can put my hands on any other super crazy ass random thing in my house. Like this, which are the legs of the silver person, right? I can put my hands right on that. But if it's something I really want to find, or if it has sentimental value, or I'm just like salivating over the thought of bringing you the memory, probably not gonna find it. And yeah, having a tough time with it. So I was glad I at least found this because it seemed very like prom. And this has a point too. Oh yeah, we're looking disheveled AF. I'm into this. But yeah, so there's a great story that's about to come to you. We'll get into it. But these are the insane. Who would ever put a thing like this on their foot? Those are the ones of which I speak. Okay, so we'll dive in. I'm super parched. I wonder why. I wanted to thoroughly recreate the happenings of the evenings, so I may have indulged in a bit of the lettuce. That lettuce we all know so well. And I just made this like 5 seconds ago before I started, just profusely stress sweating, ripping things apart like an absolute maniac. But I was inspired today, again. Didn't want to bring something angry to the table. Still haven't finished the one that I've been teasing that I couldn't find the proper inspo materials for in said Chaos Basement. Oh, my voice just cracked because I'm going to prom. Chaos Basement. Also a good punk band. I just love coming up with, I have so many punk bands. So many. Just on the fly. Whenever you want to start one, I'm ready. Yeah, up in this Chaos Basement, I've been really losing my mind lately. So I haven't finished the one that I've been teasing to the fans. But I am gonna do it tomorrow. Come poo or Nickelodeon goo. I shouldn't say that because next thing you know, I'm gonna be getting slimed. Yeah, there are things worse than not giving yourself enough time, I guess. And I've just been encountering all of them. But I was inspired. Get the tires back on the track. Here we are. We're in it. We're on it. It's late. We're here. We out here at prom. And my like super drastic lip stuff wore off too, and I'm pretty upset about that. I'm like, assistant, Need more lip stuff. Outrageous is the only makeup that I put on. So I was like, you gotta have something flashy at prom. If you're gonna be the queen after all, my goodness. But I didn't want to bring you angry stuff. I didn't want to bring tons of F-bomb, doom, thunder, which is in my soul, and it's okay, and I'm feeling pretty heavily right now. But it really is hard to invent a brand new poem and bring the theme and bring the words out of yourself in a single day. And I'm trying to do this on the daily, and it's, I don't know, at least there's people who acknowledge it. There's people who know me super well who text me and they're like, you're really putting a lot of yourself out there. You doing all right, champ? You okay, buddy? Sometimes I have to be talked to like a young boy who's trying to play baseball because I get so discouraged, and people just have to be like, hey, buddy. You got it, buddy. You can do this, champo, sporto. I like that. I like that kind of butt pat talk. Everybody needs that now and again. But so back to the millionth time I'm trying to tell you why I was inspired, because I did that yesterday. Was the national day of this, that, and the other thing. So I did that same thing again today, except I did not include all of them. I will tell I will tell all you of them, about them at the end. But I was not up to the challenge of somehow weaving because every day is like the national day of usually 4 to 7 things. So yesterday I wove every single one of them into a single poem, and I was pretty proud of how it kind of felt like a good winding road that made a little bit of sense. Today, there was no way I was going to try to like weave that tapestry. I just had to kind of like, do something else. So we're gonna just, I guess we'll just put that other freaking song on one more time, and then we'll start it like that, and then we'll just keep reading. Cause why not? That was the other thing that's bothering me. I really low estimate have 40 friends in bands, and I could find none of them. There's a whole shelf of CDs over there, and I could find only these 2. That made me mad as well. And one of them is only one song. But it's groovy. We're here. It's groovy. We're doing prom. Oh my god, I forgot my corsage too. What am I thinking? I was gonna glue myself together a little corsage, but it's okay. It's okay. That's the most awkward corsage you could ever have. It's not even worth trying to woo yourself at that point. It's over. But yeah, how fun is this? I'm trying to bring you some lightness. It's embarrassing talking to my therapist and trying to tell him the things that I'm doing that are healthy, or trying to dig through my mind to find the things that are like, yes, I'm choosing the positive in this way. So for me, that's all in my poetry right now, and just choosing myself and my art, and choosing to show up for myself every day, even though sometimes it's stressful and stress sweat and just yelling and contorting my face and letting it get the worst of me. But it's still art, and it's still art for my sake and not on anyone else's terms. And I'm taking my sweet ass time sometimes to the point where it's pushing it into the late hours, and that's okay. I'm still making that choice, and it's hard to make choices like that. I do love this song. Damn it, it's a really good song. So here we go. Yeah, the 2 that I weaved in today, the 2 national days that it is today. Day 90. Mind me, you better believe it. It's day 90. Ooh, spank my hiney, it's day 90. That's great. I mean, that's a tick on the Richter scale of doing it sort of okay, to get to 90 days of pushing yourself, even when you're mad at yourself and can't stand yourself, and whatever the case may be. Got here, doing it. And the national days today, I'll give away the other ones at the end, But the two that I was like, yeah, I relate to that hugely, is that it's National Crayon Day. They had on the National Day website, they had like coloring printouts that you could print, and I had, oh, the ambitions I had, you guys. I was gonna draw you crayon dioramas of all of these stories. Like, this is the crayon interpretation of this story, and I was gonna do them all, but instead I just went with this baller Crayola. Well, it's not Crayola, it's knockoff. I always got those knockoff Connor crayons. Come on, you know, come on. I feel like I have to almost sit with like this is real. I have to sit with like the fluff, and I need something for my butt. Like, it's a lot, guys. It hurts. being a princess, because I'm dressed like a princess, you know? So me. Just need a little cushion for the tushin. And we're gonna like, because this will scratch your hiney like you wouldn't believe. This tulle, the things that women have done for fashion for all of time. And this is just fun anyway, having like your skirt be a cupcake over the stool. Fun stuff. Into it, about it. Okay, right there. Oh, luxury, pure luxury that is, compared to tulle and wood. I said tulle and wood. Oh, speaking of funny jokes like that, I went into the world today. Very scary. Very, very, very scary. So funny, people just don't even know how to interact anymore. I was like at the post office. I was standing like kind of off to the side. Oh, I had just taped my thing that I was sending. So I was like grabbing it. It's on a table. And the guy walked in and just breezed past me. They never noticed you. Just going, oh, were you? And I'm like, well, yes, because you're only supposed to have one person in the area of the sending at a time. COVID, right? And he's just hard charging. Oh, were you? And I'm like, well, yes, I'm waiting out here for her. And he interpreted that like she's my mom and I'm waiting for her. Like, no, dude, you wait out here. So anyway, and the woman who was working the post office like felt the whole situation, got me. And I just kind of like sighed, and she's like, I get it. That's always me too. Like, people stomping over me because I'm just going to be like, okay. Like, and he got it. He knew he was gutting in front of me, and I'd been standing there for 10 minutes, and he just was like, oh, well, okay. And I told her, like, you know, at this point in our, like, disconnect in this pandemic and being so disconnected from each other, and so in our literal bubbles and zones and each to their own, I don't even think that he knows that he doesn't know. Like, I know, you know, we're like aware of this situation, and that I just got kind of human trampled for no fucking reason, even though I was saying like, no, yeah, I'm waiting because you're supposed to wait. But she got it. And then another guy walked in and was about to trample me because I was just having a moment of a second with the very kind post office gal, and I couldn't find words because he was like, oh, were you? Again. Like, yes, dude. Yes, I'm a person here standing here with a package. I'm waiting to send my package as well. And he almost went past again. And I was like, oh, no, yeah, I'm up. I just was flirting because I couldn't think of another word. And I kind of was flirting. I flirt with almost everyone. It's kind of like my love language. My way to appreciate humans that don't suck is to flirt. Is that okay? Like, apparently not a lot of the time. But that's how I do it. That's how I show appreciation. That's how I got tips as a server. It's just how I roll. But yeah, I was just empathizing with her for a second, being like, I was just thinking about you and how many people must, like, breeze past your human needs and come in with all their needs every day and be crazy. And she was like, oh, yeah. And right as I'm giving her just a little bit of acknowledgement, some dude's about to, I don't know. And it was all just like that. Just trucks up your butt and, like, oh, but I went out. I went out into the world. Oh, this is my funny. That's where I was going. You guys, I can tell a story for every morning glory. Every single one. It's just so dumb, too, that this is where this was leading. But I saw a sushi place. I drove by, and I don't go out, mind you. Mommy don't go out. So, I saw this sushi place that was formerly F-U-H, sushi. And now it's meat, M-I-H. And so, me. I just said it all day to myself. Fuck me. I liked it. I thought it was funny. It was a interpretation of where I'm at. Yes. So thanks for coming to prom with me. Where are we? We're doing all right. I'll just read you this, and I'll do the thing that I always do, and it's another day of poetry, and I'm in a particularly weird zone because, boy, it's whirlwinderific down here. But it's okay. Sometimes a girl has got to fling all of her belongings around the room just to get herself to prom. Makes perfect sense to me. Oh my god, I just discovered that there's like multiple Flutie-Doos on this. Yeah, there's another Flutie-Doo. I love when a dress has hidden whimsy bobs. I'm sorry, I need another. I need another. Like SpongeBob. My boo and I do that one all the time. Never stops being funny, actually. I actually feel like I am like the prom queen of Bikini Bottom right now. That kind of feels like my calling at this exact moment. But no, my calling is to read you this poem. Here we go. Is it better over here? If I do kind of want the like crown in it, but I also want to be close to you. I'm trying to build a balance. I'm trying to find a balance. Yes, I kind of have to do like here. Yes. Okay. We're in this now. I feel quite like I'm ready for my prom picture. I wonder if any of those pictures showed at the beginning. I have not mastered the art of like I can't, if I'm trying to show you the audience something, it still has to be on the flippy part of the camera. So to show you I have to like go like this and just hope that it's working. I don't know how to, that's how advanced you bitch is. Okay. I'm no bitch, I'm your fucking prom queen. Okay. So, I didn't even finish that freaking thought, you guys. I am a hysterical jumping bean right now. Today is National Crayon Day and National Prom Day. And I told myself to remember there was all these like positive proceeds programs going to like really prolifically profound positive things for young people on the National Day calendar website. It's just like National Day of. And yeah, it explained all about good things they're trying to do for youngsters and prom and people not having prom and people developing horrible social anxieties and, you know, self-hatred and addictions that they didn't have before because things are hard, and just trying to help young people, which is a good thing. So look that up if you get a chance. And it's cool. I'm going to probably do more of these. Just weird. It's the day of this. It's the day of this. It's the day of this. Find worship and reverence for those things and poof, make a poem of it. I wish I still had the fly sweater because I would use it as a fairy wand. But instead, I'll just read you my poem and get to the point. Here we go. Day 90. Isn't it fine on day 90? So the poem is called Prom Queen Crayon, like crown, but crayon. Prom Queen Crayon. I thought I was so grown when I attended all my proms. Wasn't a gal who ever followed the crowd or shook pom-poms. Said so long to childhood and then it all went so fast. But my bright light and desire to dance has withstood the test of that time's passage. The first prom was supposed to be the classic Cinderella romance. Sadly, one of many, many gals who tried to tear me down intentionally sunk her teeth, so to speak, into my first love, my prince. She wouldn't be the first in our jealous, competitive theater group to swoop in so viciously on this fella I loved so completely, and that anger has stuck with me since. I was so hurt that I did the old knee-jerk reaction and messed up any chance of romantic action by insisting my best friend came along to prom. I guess it was a kind of punishment for feeling wronged by what was supposed to be my perfect prom date, my perfect night. But maybe it was my free will, maybe it was fate. It's too late to recover those would-be kisses now. I guess I thought eventually we'd catch a rain check for those lost embraces, somehow. It's one of those connections I didn't imagine totally missing the boat on was something that the universe would allow. Anyhow, we did the hibachi-style dinner, letting more than the meat simmer as we fought off our electric feelings being stifled by hurt ones. Wish I knew now that it was small potatoes and I should have just let it be completely fun. Completely all the way fun. Since my best friend came to break the tension, we did the Charlie's Angels pose on either side of the big hunk I was so upset with for being a lunkhead, but should have just been slow dancing all night with instead. Even to the pop songs. Wish I could write that wrong, but life happens at such a rocket ship pace. I look at that smiling teenage picture and try to analyze my face for clues of what was propelling that version of me. Another truly hilarious aspect of that prom was the date I said no to. I was in a small group of leaders at school that was composed of elite kids much more red, white, and blue than I, at least in other people and administrators' eyes. I was one of maybe 4 people in the group who couldn't take one step without letting everyone know that Jesus was on their side. I took it in stride because it was basically an off period for me, but many of their arrogant conversations made me furious. Going on a retreat in the mountains with them made me downright delirious, but one of my fellow ambassadors was apparently curious about the other side of life, as in the not completely starched white pressed dressed for church or the country club, someone who didn't handle every edgy topic with kid gloves. But I thought he was judging me when he looked at me, and I guess he was actually seeing turtle doves. 'Cause at our weekly pizza meeting to bullshit about our leadership and whatnot, he flipped the script of my expectations and asked me to be his prom date. I had already asked my first love, but golly, I could not wait to tell my best friend. I got Molly Ringwalded by the rich quarterback who never had a lack of Bible quotes for any situation. That brought me some unique twitterpation. Still a situation that makes me chuckle, but I still feel like a knucklehead for letting my pride get in the way of a prom that should have been a much more thrilling ride. Wanting a redo for that one is something I still can't hide. But hey, we can't control the tide along with a whole mess of other forces. But rest assured, the next prom, had it been a meal, would have been one of many interesting courses. I can hardly sort through all the hilarity of that evening. Basic build-up was pretty funny and complex stuff. Behind our stoned little teenage faces in that picture, awkwardly beaming, a mere half hour before that famous picture of smiling youngsters, we'd all been shouting, grunting, and screaming. It involved my friend's VW bus, but not in the way you're thinking, naughties. No, more in a way that had us all pouting. We're lucky it didn't end up rerouting our entire night's plans. After food and some laughs and extracurriculars, we had a vehicular interference when we got stranded by that damn van. The sucker just wouldn't start. Bless our little stoned hearts. We had to push that beast all the way up a hill. The crazy-ass plastic stripper heels pushing on that clunker is a feat I am impressed by still. I'm sure I was a bit of a pill getting flustered about my pretty dress being a mess. We imagined people cared more than they did, though, because I don't think anyone noticed when we showed up looking more than a bit distressed. The two of us gals had feelings for our dates, who thought we were in the friend zone because we hadn't yet officially confessed. I guess at 16 and 17 we weren't the best at putting words to things that were hard to express. To add to the awkward fun, the second we walked in, the teachers presented us with a unique test. The fun police never rest. They all had neck lanyards with little blue lights attached, and they came at us, shining them aggressively in our eyes to determine if we were high. I complied and tried really hard not to laugh, but I complied and tried hard not to laugh. But the staff of my high school should have gotten a refund on those brilliant gadgets, 'cause tragically they didn't do shit. If it didn't show that we were high, it was just never gonna do the trick. So, phew, slipped past that second barricade. We took all those judgy lemons and made some fucking fun lemonade. And speaking of citrus, a fun fact to slip in was the fact that my skin was truly the color of an orange. It was not natural, and it was impossible to ignore it. I was in a play at the time called The Ultimate Beauty Bible. It was about women waiting to get plastic surgery because they hated their bodies, and at the end they strip off their hospital gowns to stand in their underwear totally vulnerable. My personal self-hatred at the time was pretty undeniable. My confidence was easily demolished and quite pliable to the forces of negativity. I had to use that as a way to explain how on earth the idea of fully spray tanning this pasty-ass body would have ever seemed like anything other than sheer stupidity. My date wasn't taking any of my cues, and then I found my teacher crush, and from that point on, he couldn't get rid of me. Embarrassingly enough, he shined the damn blue light at me too. Whatever the fuck that proved. But then I allowed my crazy Lolita side to come unglued. I still cannot believe the words that slipped out of my dry, high lips. Kind of like now. I told him all about my play while seductively swaying my hips. I actually told him about how I got into my skivvies at the climax. Cool and casual, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm almost legal now, so it's cool if you enjoy it." Seemingly totally relaxed, as I just sent that crazy prom train right off the fucking tracks. I think I blocked out how he actually saw fit to react. But fun fact, in my next even crazier prom story, this same character would be back. My next prom was a pulse-pounding, high-risk adventure that felt like doing some huge FBI system hack. It's honestly one of my greatest accomplishments and thrills to this day, and I truly still cannot believe I got away with it. I was 24 at the time, and a good friend of mine was going to totally blow off her prom, because much like me in high school, she didn't like many of her peers. She was targeted and often bullied to tears. So I just wasn't hearing that defeat, and decided I was going to be her date and make it the prom to beat. Of course, there was the issue of dodging the heat and beating the system at several turns. I took everything I'd learned as an actor to pull off this charade, and at the risk of sounding cocky, I gotta say, it was very well played. First, there was the task of finding an actual high school student I could get away with impersonating, right down to facing actual adults in charge, looking in their eyes, and not triggering any insinuating gazes or doubt. In other words, I had to be whoever I was pretending to be, and that meant going all out. Finding the girl was pretty easy, since my guy friends in their 20s still wanted those young, breezy gals. So I targeted said dude pals and found a friend who had a squeeze I could totally emulate with a fair degree of ease. I bought a fake nose ring to really take the role play up to a level of expertise. I had to go to several places because there was some mix-up with the tickets. Then, when I saw who was selling me mine, I about went weak at the knees. It was my 9th grade French teacher, now working at my friend's high school. Working at my friend's high school, apparently. I repeated a mantra in my mind that I was this other girl. We'll call her Jane Doe. I just kept saying, "I am Jane Doe. I am Jane Doe. She'll never, ever, ever know." And hey, lo and behold, the powers of mental confidence had her totally sold. She even asked me about some hard test I'd just taken, and I answered in French, a bona fide miracle, mind you, that it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. She smiled, which told me I'd somehow answered correctly. You gotta remember, this woman was a foot away from me, looking at me directly, and was convinced I was her student too for like a year, and was convinced that I was Jane Doe all the way. I turned, sweating, and tried to exit, totally cool, waiting until I made it to the parking lot to sigh out loud to myself. Way to stay with it. What's even more strange is that after all that trouble, I told my friend a bizarre prediction. I had this feeling that when we got to the actual prom, and I said this out loud, confidently, I envisioned a very flighty blonde at the entrance who wouldn't even so much as check my ticket or ID. It happened. I could have been literally anyone dressed up even slightly. I didn't tiptoe in lightly or hang my head low. I was just like, yo, prom, what's good? And I got in like Errol Flynn, feeling sneaky and slick as Robin Hood. That's a good reference. I got in like Errol Flynn, feeling sneaky and slick as Robin Hood. And let me tell you, this one was prom as it should be. We straight up owned that high school parade of meanies and tools like an uplifting 80s movie. We were like the grooviest of the groovy. The cool kids were actually visibly flipping their lids, craning their necks to get a load of us. Like, who the heck is that? We looked fat with a PH, and to think my friend almost let that victory montage go to waste. The revenge coolness was so real. You could taste it. And naturally, we were only able to face it after some really, really good brownies. Turned our jock and click fearing frowns right the hell upside down. Yeah, man, we turned that whole bad year around in that one single night. You won't even believe how completely badass the theme of this prom was. Batman. Freaking Batman theme. I mean, come on. That's tight. My dress came from a dumpster in Hollywood. Yes, you understood that right. But that didn't dim my feeling 17, beaming light. We danced like it was the party of our lifetimes. And even looking back on it, a single negative reflection of it is hard to find. I cannot honestly remember another such instance of unabashedly letting loose while shaking my behind. Another hilarious moment that comes to mind was trying to get through the line to get our coats. I knew what would get us through to the front, and I don't mean to boast, but I just lifted up my arms to unveil my secret weapons. A dramatic reveal. My hairy pits, knowing full well that the youngsters wouldn't be able to deal or handle it. Sure enough, they were all stunned, peeling off like a 40s movie musical. Oh, the predictability of most people makes my heart so full. It really was quite a stunt to pull, and we did it with finesse. I think if you looked at every prom ever, it would be ranked as one of the best. Put my thespian skills all the way to the test, and it was worth all the effort and brow sweat. Then there was one last side-splitting, end-of-the-evening potential threat, but the whole thing turned out to just be a great comedy set. I went outside to get a breath, and there was that same teacher crush from my back in the day high school prom, and instantly our eyes met. He just so happened to be in a very high position I shan't name at my friend's school. I won't mention it here to rule out pinpointing his identity. He did me a solid, so I'll give the guy some anonymity. I just laughed about it, for it was a great... What? Oh, I just laughed about it for what it was and gave a comedic shrug like, well, hi, and gave him a big hug. Still flirting all those years later. Gosh, I really was a bold 12th grader. But there I stood, admitting fully that I'd managed up until that point to slide right under the radar, and I joked that I hoped it wouldn't degrade our bond. He chuckled and promised not to pass my name along to the prom police. Whew, what a great relief. Naturally, of course, he had to give me a little more grief, but even though the jig was up, the fear was brief in comparison to the total unbridled enjoyment. Now, years later, I just wish I could go to prom more often. After years and years of bills and thankless, brutal, real employment, it's too bad high school feels like some elite club and impossible for you to actually join it. Because you should really take your precious energy and point it directly away from all that made up shit and just shake a tail feather freely, split a rug. Forget the squinting high council of cool girls and puffed chest thugs. Eat some high-grade brownies, say no to the hard drugs, and give more hugs. Hold it while you got it, because just as you thought it couldn't get worse, adulthood came for you. A very terse lesson in perspective. I know often memories are selective, but that one is a treasure that gives and gives. The night I boogied like Robin when no one in Gotham was looking, with all the insecure and too secure kids, and slid on that dance floor like that's what my damn feet were made for. It was like a John Hughes flick with a perfect underscore, an absolute gas, simple and pure. I realized I was never as grown as I felt I was at my teen proms, but it's okay that at that time I felt quite sure that I was. It's that buzz of breaking rules and starting to drive. But let's be real, I was still coloring with crayons and coloring books, and honestly, compared to loud parties, that still made me feel way more alive. Of course, by then I was coloring while high, but hey, it takes a lot to thrive through all that growth and mess. I'm glad by that time I still had some of my child's mind left, and that I still do today. I think life is always good if we remember how to really play. So don't get eaten up by the ones who naysay. There's a new picture to color in, and a new great dance tune on the way. Hooray! Cool. Well, that went to be like an hour anyway. I don't know. It's fine. We're here. It's my channel. We're here. We queer. We're here. It's clear. We're queer. We don't have any beer. Come sit over here. And we'll play dress up all year. I love how my voice is just cracking tonight like a teenage boy. It's so fitting. It's just really delighting me. It just keeps cracking. It's fine. It's because I've been talking, articulating, enunciating. Oh, plosives. Plosives were the word I was looking for the other day. I always want to write all the words I forget in my thing, and I'm like, what is that? And then I want to write it down, and then I forget what all did I rant and rave about how I couldn't remember. But definitely the Eve under the apple tree poem, and I was trying to think of the literary tool I was using. It was plosives. Cool. Prom was awesome. I had a sick time, but yeah, those are all true stories, all real. I still can't believe I did that. That's probably one of the most scandalous things I've ever done, but I'm so proud of it. There was no ill intention in that. I mean, adults should be able to have selected days where they get to feel frickin' a little bit free and young again, because youth is wasted on the young, and you don't know what you've got at that moment, and you fucking blow it all over the place by not even seeing what it is. So once you start really suffering outside that bubble, you should be able to go back and feel that and be silly, and nobody gets to be silly anymore. They're just all stuck looking in their phones with their tight ass crotch hugging jeans, being mean and mad at each other. And we deserve to get glittery, whatever class structure we've managed to get fucked by. we should still be able to put on something fly and glide. So, makes me sad that, I mean, I get it, okay, I get it. I'm saying in a different way, like, I obviously made my friend's prom the coolest prom ever. It really was, like, a straight up movie. I'm not even joking. Like, the hot chicks and the cool dudes were all like, did you ever know that she was amazing? Oh, we all made fun of her. And I put that spotlight on her, baby. We were in it. And a bunch of people knew me because I know everybody. And I was like, no, that's not my name. My name is Jane Doe. I won't reveal her identity. She's my partner in crime. But I really am so proud of that heist, you guys. And I couldn't articulate it properly. The getting of the tickets was so James Bond. I had to go to several different places because there was so mix up. You know, computers were still very, very archaic. And there was some mix up at the tickets, and I had to go here and there and everywhere to this, like, local theater, and then to the school, and then to another building at the school, and through this very strange series of unfortunate and bumbling and weird events, I end up with my former teacher selling me the ticket. I was like, there is no way, what? And then the freaking teacher that I flirted with from my actual prom, years and years later, just so happening to work at the school that was not my school. I don't know, man. It's just too funny. Like, it just... people can judge and be like, you did what? Or whatever. It's not that crazy, you know? And, like, you know, I went with beautiful intentions, and my friend was in a state of horrible depression and was bullied all the time, and she wasn't gonna go to her own prom. And I was like, I'm afraid that you have to have this rites of passage, and I'm gonna make it happen for you. And I wish I could find the dress, you guys. The dress was so cool from this dumpster. It has, like, the mermaid, perfect glitter, scaly mermaid shimmers all over it, and they dance and move, and it's so alive. And we were in just, like, neon. I mean, we were both in this color scheme of the dream. We were both living the absolute dream, giving life to it. Yeah, best brownies I've ever eaten. It's just, you don't get that feeling after that. And you don't know that it's only gonna like spark you so hard through your early 20s, and then it's gonna just start to feel more and more whittled down. So I'm glad I have that to look back on and be like, hey, I may not have a degree, but I've been to prom 3 times. And I honestly, if I could find the perfect ID, I would do it again, guys. It was too much fun, and there's nothing but love in it. And it was just because boring ass adults, all these people I know becoming their husbands and fading away from me, you know, like, sorry, but there's just no dancing anymore, and there's no sparkle, and there's no damn decorations. And I just love everything about that concept, and I don't know why adults have to be so deprived of such things when kids are just, youngsters are just like, nothing's cool, and then you just like miss it so much, and you wish that you could dance like that and wear shoes like this and try to freaking pull off a dance move. That's the madness, is the expectations on the he-mans and she-mans. The expectations on the she-mans versus the he-mans. Yeah. But I really enjoyed bringing you those stories. That was fun. It was a good memory lane for me. Oh, right! I teased you that I was going to tell you, and I meant to bring this whole shirt and other props, but you should just see this basement right now. It's a freaking catastrophe. It's a freaking, woo! It's a motherfucking catastrophe. So, I didn't bring all my other props, but it also just so happens to be National Manatees Awareness Day. Very important. Our oceans. If we don't have our oceans, you guys, we don't have shit. If we don't have our oceans, we have nothing. Period. So it's all part of it. It's all part of this very delicate place that we seem to think is like a McDonald's drive-thru. It's not. Spoiler alert, it's not. That's not what this planet was put here for us to use it as our, like, quick fix, ride each other's ass Starbucks line. It's not what it is. So, give it up for the manatees. They're really important and suffering. Whew, gotta help them. National Clams on the Half Shell Day. You will never, ever experience me partaking in that tradition. Clams gross me out. That just cracking open the slithering tongue, snot, oceanic life and just sucking it down your gullet. So unappealing to me that I can't stomach it. I can't believe that people eat oysters and clams. It's so scary to me. It churns. That's like barnacles, baby. That's eating barnacles. It just doesn't make sense to me that people are like, oh yeah, put some lemon on that. I'm like, you did not just get it. But it does remind me of like Don Draper. Clams on the half shell. Clams on the half shell day. National Clams on the half shell day. You don't say like you gotta wear some super cute little 50s outfit and I guess just suck it up. But never. You ain't never gonna find me doing that. But also oceanic. So we're giving some love to the oceans today. National Taters Day. National Taters. Prom. Crayons. Remember the haters? Nah, forget them. They're nothing but taters. No, I love taters. Who doesn't love taters? Come on. I'm supposed to cut out all my starches and everything that tastes good. How do you do that? How can you not have buttered bread and... Ooh, just spitting. I'm the prom queen. Don't worry. I endorsed this message. Okay, forget the haters. Eat some taters. Wouldn't recommend the clams. But, yeah. Stop giving the manatees so much grief. Give them love. More, better plans for the manatees. And go to prom. Make prom in your own house. Do something like this. Who cares? Play more music. Get more of your groove on. Get down on it. Get down with your bad self. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 91. Gonna be in the sun. We'll have some more fun. Happy prom!